I was perusing the aisles of a store with one of my friends. It was a men's high-end clothing store in the downtown of the area where I grew up. I was probably 14 or 15 years old, and we were waiting for my friend's father to come pick us up. And I remember distinctly my friend's father coming into the store. My friend was looking through some sweaters or shirts or whatever. His dad had said, "Hey, do you like any of these? Would you like one, or do you like a couple?" And then they proceeded to spend a couple $100 on brand new clothes and sweaters and shirts and things. The reason I remember this is because money at the time for me growing up, I grew up with a single mom. She was a school teacher. Money was always very tight. I had a brother and sister at home. God bless my mother because she did an amazing job raising us, but finances were constantly a struggle. It was something that we did have to worry about. I was very aware of the fact that if I had wanted those same clothes, my mom would not have been able to afford to purchase those for us. We bought most of our clothes from secondhand stores or TJ Maxx or places like that, which is fine. I had no issue with that at all at the time, but it did make me understand that money was tight. So what I did back then is I started getting jobs, and I got jobs. I worked at the local car wash, which growing up in northeastern Ohio outside of Cleveland in the wintertime is very cold and very miserable. And so that was a job I had. I worked at a restaurant called Susie's Backyard as a busboy, bussing tables. I worked at the movie theater that was brand new, Chagrin Cinema 6, that was right down the street from where I lived. These were all within like a block of each other on the same main drag in my little town. And I didn't really enjoy any of these jobs, I'll be honest with you. I knew way back then that I was not meant to be working for somebody else. But you do what you could back then to make some extra bucks, and that's what I was doing. And my main driving motivation at the time was to get some cash because money was tight in our family. I didn't feel comfortable asking my mom for money, and I didn't really want to do that. And so I wanted to know that I could pay for things on my own if I needed to, or chip in around the house if I needed to. And so that's why I always seemed to have a job growing up somewhere, doing something, but I never really enjoyed being an employee, to be honest. And the main reason for that was because as I was working for these people, I realized that I just wasn't very good at taking orders. I wasn't good at the structure, at them putting me on the calendar and me making sure that I had to be there at a certain time and place, and I just and do things a certain way. I realize now how important that is to a business, but at the time as a young kid, that was not for me. I wanted to do things my way, and oftentimes I felt that I could do things better than my boss was telling me to do things, but I was still forced to do things in a way that they wanted me to do it, not the way I thought would work best for the business or for me or for whoever. And so that was one of the things I realized. Another thing I realized by working for people as I was growing up was that my income was capped, and that if I didn't work, I wasn't going to get paid. And so whether it was an hourly wage or after I went to college and graduated and went to work for a company, it was my salary that I got. I think my first salary was $27,500 at the firm I worked for. It was an investment firm, and that was capped. I wasn't going to earn any more than that. I mean, at the end of the year, they paid us a small bonus, which we looked forward to and were always excited about for the entire year, and we hoped that we would get a raise, but we really had no control over that. I had no control over that. I mean, I could do the best job possible for this company, but at the end of the day, I was going to collect that same 700 and some bucks that I got every other week after tax into my bank account, and that's all I was ever going to get. But I'm very thankful that I worked for this investment firm, because we worked with people that were the highest of the high net worth people in the country, and millions of dollars. And what I saw by working with these people is that most of them were either into real estate or they owned a business of some sort. Generally speaking, those were the types of people we worked with, and they made a lot of money. I remember one day, my job was to reconcile financial accounts, and I remember that I was reconciling one of our clients' financial accounts, and he earned more money in interest on his money market account in 1 month than I earned from my job at that investment firm an entire year. And that was enlightening to me, that this guy earned this money regardless of what he did, because it was passive income. It came to him through his the rate of return on his money market account, and that was that was big. That was a big deal. So I didn't last at this investment firm that long. I was there a couple years and decided that I needed to do something more. I wanted to earn more. The idea that I could start my own business at some point, and I knew that I wasn't sure how to do that, but I knew that I could go back to school, and I could develop some more credentials that would allow me more opportunities. And so that's what I did. And I didn't have enough experience to go to business school, at least I didn't think I did at the time. So I went to law school. And the idea being that after I was finished with law school, I could start my own law firm, and then I could run my own business. And that's basically what I did. I did work at a firm and the public defender's office for about a year and a half after I graduated from law school. But as soon as it was possible to make that jump and start working on my own as a lawyer, I did. And I started that back in 2005 was when I first started my own firm, working on my own. And I originally started that firm as a family law firm. And what I realized while I was working as a family law attorney was what I really enjoyed doing was the marketing. I enjoyed going out and networking with people. I enjoyed building websites. I enjoyed all those type of things that would bring the clients in. I enjoyed working with the clients too, and the legal work was certainly fascinating and still is fascinating. I'm not saying that, but the marketing and the building the systems and the business is what truly drives me, even to this day, is what I really enjoy about running my own law practice. But then something happened. So when I graduated from law school, it was back in 2003, 2004, and from then to about 2010, there really was a big change in the way business was done online. And in 2010, that's when our son was born. That's when my wife stopped working, and it became immediately clear to me that something was going to have to change. Either I was going to have to really grow the law firm, or something else was going to have to happen, or I was going to be in the same spot I was back when I was a kid and money was really tight in our family. And I didn't want that because children are expensive and I wanted to be able to provide for my son. And so in 2010, I was introduced to a podcast called Internet Business Mastery with Jeremy Franson and Jason Van Orden. And I joined their program and I started learning about online business and how it worked and how I could build a business around my legal knowledge that would generate some passive revenue for me. And that was, it's never really truly passive, right? You still have to be working on the business, but the income I would earn from that online business would be independent of how many hours I worked. And that was what was really sexy to me about the idea of an online business. And so I tried a number of different things. I tried a blog, I tried an e-commerce store, I tried a podcast, I tried coaching other lawyers on how to build their practices. I tried all these different things to try and build kind of a side business that could help supplement my law firm revenue. And none of them really took off. But then in 2016, I started posting a couple videos online on YouTube that just basically talked about legal concepts that I thought people might enjoy listening to. And I didn't really think anything of it. And so I continued to try and build the law firm, and these videos were out there, but I wasn't really doing anything with them. And I hadn't even really logged on to see how my YouTube channel was doing. But then at some point in 2018, I logged in, and this is about 2 years after I first started posting those first few videos, and I had 6 or 7 or 8,000 subscribers, and I was blown away that many people were actually watching my channel. I had no idea. And so I turned on AdSense revenue. And in the first month, I made $30.64. That was for a partial month. And then the next month, I made $109. And then in the ensuing months, it kind of went up and down, but generally speaking, it was around $100 to $200 a month that I was making off AdSense revenue. And I started to think, well, there's something to this maybe. And so I went through some phases where I posted more videos and then stopped posting videos and then posted more videos. And earlier this year, I would say last fall, I really started getting consistent with my videos. And I started adding some additional revenue streams to the business. But something really weird happened, and that was COVID-19. Nobody could have anticipated this was going to happen. I remember sitting in my office one evening around the middle of March of this past year, well, just a couple months ago, and saying to myself, I'm not going to get any clients to my law firm for the foreseeable future because number one, nobody's leaving the house. Number two, nobody wants to spend money on a lawyer. So I have to figure out a way to make some money during this period or we're gonna be in trouble. So I really started to double down on YouTube. I launched a course, I added even more revenue streams to the channel, affiliate marketing, things of that sort. And a strange thing happened. My channel started to grow, the affiliate revenue started to grow. I launched a course that had some good revenue from it, and things were okay. I actually made more money from the channel than I did from my brick and mortar law firm, which was really empowering to me. So now I'm at this point where the channel is making enough revenue that if I chose to, I could shut down my brick and mortar law firm and work only with my online clients, which I've toyed with. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but that is something that is definitely on the plate for consideration right now. And that's, I think, true freedom. And that's the freedom that I was looking for way back when I was just a teenage boy going through that clothing store trying to figure out, how I could make some extra money so that I could afford to buy clothes like my friend could. That's one of the true benefits of being an entrepreneur, is because you're only limited by your imagination and what you can develop and the value you can bring to the world. And if you bring something valuable, the marketplace is going to pay you for it. And then you, just like me, are going to be able to take your son into a store and buy them whatever you want to buy them, because financially you will be set and you will have enough money that you can do that without worry or concern of when you're going to get your next paycheck. So if you like what I'm talking about here with entrepreneurship, go ahead and check out this next video here. I'm going to be posting more videos on entrepreneurship tips, things like that right here. See you next time.